Welcome to the Land-PIE overview video. Our goal over the next several minutes is to provide you an appreciation of who we are, what the capabilities of the Land-PIE system are, and how you can benefit from them. The Tract-PIE team markets a suite of financial analysis systems to the real estate industry to quickly, easily, and accurately generate cash flow and perform analyses for residential tract and/or land development projects and income-producing properties such as apartments, office, and retail buildings. We have been serving the industry since 1990 and support more than 400 separate companies worldwide. We have earned a reputation for providing flexible, comprehensive, easy-to-use systems that are professionally supported and continually enhanced. Through the cyclical ups and downs of this industry, the Tract-PIE suite of systems has been a dependable, reliable, and constant analysis platform in a tumultuous industry. The Land-PIE system would typically be used to generate a monthly cash flow projection and financial analysis of a project that entails the purchase and entitlement or development of land and then the eventual sale of the different size lots or parcels to builders. The resultant reports display monthly cash flows before and after debt service with project internal rate of returns and profit margin, as well as loan flows, equity projections with IRRs to the various partners, a profit and loss statement, and a balance sheet. Much flexibility is provided to display time periods as months or rolled up into quarters or years. The reports are professionally looking, suitable for presentations to management and potential lenders and investors. Why use Land-PIE if you have a spreadsheet system? While spreadsheets provide a lot of flexibility, they are not easy to develop. They are time-consuming and they are error-prone. In fact, a recent article in the Wall Street Journal stated that more than 88% of spreadsheets contain errors. Who wants to take the chance that your inadvertent errors might cost you thousands, if not millions of dollars? While our users range from large national home builders and land developers to small one- and two-man shops, our typical user is the mid-range or smaller developer, someone who is wearing multiple hats, is working with lenders and investors, and doesn't have the option to have a spreadsheet guru on staff or to be one themselves. Our users like the fact that all assumptions are input on well laid out screens in an easy to follow, logical order from product descriptions, expenses, loans, and equity participation. Calculations are automatically made when reports are generated. Users have the capability to customize the reports or even export them to a spreadsheet to make them fancier. Cash flow projections for numerous projects can be consolidated effortlessly into divisional, regional, or higher level reports. Who has the time or interest in creating elaborate, complicated spreadsheets that can only be used by a limited number of people in the company? Between the well-written user manuals, on-screen tips, and unlimited telephone support, Land-PIE users are installed, operational, and productive in a short period of time without expensive, time-consuming training classes. There are two specific means to input your assumptions to generate reports. The primary input is used to input all your basic assumptions for lots or parcel types, development expenses, loans, and equity participation. The primary input allows you to describe up to 15 lot types or categories and 30 user-defined expenses. If you need to describe more than 15 lot types, you can use the detailed input to enter up to 50 lot types. If you need to describe more than 30 expenses, you can use the detailed input to describe a whole series of user-defined subcosts for each of 25 major expenses for almost unlimited number of expenses if you need the amount of detail. That should handle most of your requirements. Our goal for this video is to concentrate on a short-term project where we buy land, subdivide it into different size residential lots which are sold over the analysis horizon. This initial screen prompts for timing information. In this example, we are projecting for 42 months or 3.5 years. You can see in the hint message below at the bottom of the screen that we can project up to 360 periods, so you're not challenging the system at all. The next series of screens prompt for information about lot or parcel types. By selecting the Select Screen command, we have two different lot types ranging from interior to exterior lots. You could of course have 60-foot lots, 80-foot lots, 100-foot lots, estate lots, as well as commercial lots and more. In this particular case, there are 104 interior lots to be developed and then closed. The unit closing schedule displays the assumption about lot closings period by period. The lots sell for an initial sales price of $125,000 and then increased by 1% a month starting in 7 of 2016. There's a deposit of 10% of total sales made in February of 2015 and then repaid from lots 50 through 104. If we had more lot types, we could continue on other screens, but for now, let's generate a report showing what's happening. The top part of the report is a revenue projection for each of the lot types, which is then subtotaled a little lower for all of the lot types. So you can see we have the interior lots here and exterior lots, and then the total coming up with the beginning of our cash flow report showing the receipts over here. While we've projected everything monthly, it is a simple matter to roll up the months into quarters or years. Let's get into our expenses. I'm going to click on Close to get back to the input. The acquisition cost of the land parcel can occur in one or numerous periods. While the system defaults to fund all or part of the land with a land loan, you can always indicate that the land is not to be funded by a loan. You can describe up to 30 user-defined development expenses. We have about 22 in this particular example. These expenses can be dispersed period by period, where it says override payments. Or you can input a total amount and have it dispersed using different percentages. These periodic percentages can be input manually or automatically generated on a straight line or a bell-shaped or S-curve over a range of periods. What's also important is that you can include or exclude certain expenses from being funded by a loan, and you can select a certain percent of a specific expense to be reimbursed. You can also indicate whether an expense is to be included or multiplied by a contingency expense percentage. If desired, you can create a set of up to 27 sub-expenses for each of the 25 major expenses. That's here with the sub-cost planning. Therefore, in this particular case, we could have easily created detailed sub-expenses such as grading, grubbing, water, sewer, roads, landscaping, which would then be totaled up into some of these major development expenses. The loan section is another powerful capability of the system. The initial land loan that we have is defined as funding 50% of the costs for the land. We could have also input a specific dollar amount. The interest rate can be variable or fixed, and it can be repaid from fundings of another loan. A percent of closings either at 100% or in this particular case accelerated at 115%, a percentage of cash flow, acreage release, or even a percent of the sales price. Again, ultimate usable flexibility. The equity participation section is another section where you can really experience the power of the system to structure most any type of partnership arrangement. In this example, the investor is contributing 80% of all the equity that's needed and will receive a 10% preferred return on their outstanding equity balance. After the preferred return and the equity are paid back, the investor will receive all or 100% of the profits until they have received an internal rate of return of 40%. Once the waterfall percentage is achieved, they'll receive 25% of the profits. Notice that you can have up to 6 different waterfalls. While the system has its own defaults by paying the preferred return before the return of equity or other factors, the user has much flexibility to override these parameters to align their input to more closely match the elements of the deal. Let's generate a new report and concentrate on some different factors. You can see that the net receipts are about 26.6 million. Our expenses, and you can see all the detail that we have over here, our expenses total about 7.5 million. This highlighted section is a summary of all your loan information, but you'll see a little bit later on that there's a detailed loan flow schedule for each loan. What is not funded by equity, funded by the loans and cash flow, is funded by equity. In this particular case, we need about $7.5 million in equity. The equity is eventually returned along with profits of about 7.6 million. Internal rate of returns are also calculated before any loans as well as after the loans. These are the key factors in determining the feasibility of the project. The report also displays the high watermark for your cost outstanding, loans, and equity. It's important to understand what and when you will experience your greatest exposure to these items. Below these sections are the loan flow schedules I talked about earlier, where you can see the drawdowns and the repayment of these loans. Again, we had the development loan repaid on an accelerated basis. With Land-PIE, you always have an accurate projection of the interest reserve and your loan balances. The P&L report projects your monthly sales less your capitalized cost of sales less any direct expenses to calculate your profit and profit margin. The balance sheet is displayed next, showing your assets and your liabilities. While this cash flow report was calculated on a monthly basis for accuracy purposes, it is very easy to roll up the months into either quarters or years, or even a combination of both. You can even display just the desired sections of the report by coming over here to Custom Specs and going to the section that you want, like Equity Participation, just to see that section of the report rather than all the other sub-reports. Another very meaningful report is the Executive Summary Report. That is a professional one-page snapshot of the important factors of the project. This is a great report to use within the company or shared with lenders and investors. All the reports are calculated at the same time so that they are always in sync. That doesn't often happen if you're using a spreadsheet system. Too often you make a change in one report that is not copied over to another report. Another powerful capability of the Land-PIE system is the goal-seeking function, which backs into the value of the land based upon attaining a targeted return, such as an internal rate of return or a profit margin. Let's come back here to the primary cash flow. We can go to goal seek. We can back into the land cost or land value based on a profit percentage. So in this example, if we are looking to attain a profit margin of 35%, then you can see the value of the land is really about $13.5 million. And to prove the results, here's our target down here in the P&L report of 35%. Sensitivity analysis is a vital aspect of any project to quickly display the impact of the changes to various major variables on the profitability of the project. In this example, let's increase and decrease the land cost by percentages and then create a table comparing key factors. You can execute up to 12 scenarios at one time. So I'm going to come over here to change land and acquisition. Let's have 5 scenarios. Let's decrease the value of the land by 20%, 15%, 10%, and 5%. And let's go the other direction, increasing it by 10%. As we calculate the matrix, the system displays a side-by-side comparison of the base case as well as the different scenarios with key factors such as internal rate of returns and profit margins. A very powerful report which took seconds to complete. How long would it have taken using a spreadsheet system? All this analysis and report generation was completed using well-designed input screens to capture the important assumptions for the deal. Within a matter of minutes, reports were generated displaying monthly as well as total revenues, expenses, loans, and equity, along with internal rate of returns and profit margin. This was accomplished within minutes, required no changing of cell-by-cell behind-the-scenes calculations and report formats, with all the assumptions transparent and readable so that nothing is hidden or overlooked. LandPie is professionally supported, continually updated with new enhancements. Life is too complex and unforgiving to use a spreadsheet for this type of analysis. Supported and enhanced, limited by really your knowledge of spreadsheets and time to use them. Make profits, not spreadsheets. With LandPie, you have a system ideally suited for analyzing all types of land development projects. The system is easy to use, yet comprehensive. You can see that the input screens are self-explanatory and the function of the system is intuitive. The system is flexible to handle the most demanding of projects, and yet simple enough, empowering the new user to be functional quickly without attending expensive training. LandPie is continuously enhanced and professionally supported. To learn more about our Tract-PIE suite of systems or to schedule a personal demonstration of these systems, contact us at 800-774-5077 or visit our website at www.tract-pie.com. We look forward to helping you make profits, not spreadsheets.